Well, it's been a minute since I've done a watch review, and there's been a watch that I've had my eye on for, well, a long time. A few years now, since I saw them online, and I thought, you know what, I've got to get myself one of these watches, but I don't really need one because I've got so many other watches. Fast forward to now, and I couldn't resist and had to get one. Now, if I show you this box, would it give it away? Probably not, because a lot of the watches that you get, Chinese watches from AliExpress and so forth, do come in this box or this style of box. But the watch I'm going to talk to you about today is called the Seakoss 40mm 1963. 1963, sound familiar? Yeah, the Seagull 1963, the remake of the Chinese military watch, or the chronograph, that's been around for a while. And there's many YouTube videos on, you know, the different models and are they fake, are they real, blah 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 blah. But the one that I got is the 40mm. I want to stay away from the 38 because I've got a pretty big wrist. I didn't want it to look funny, and I opted in for the 40mm version. Now, there's one thing that sort of put me off on the Seagull 1963 is the chronograph feature. Now, yes, Sash, that's what the watch is about. It is meant to be a chronograph. Well, to be honest, I don't use the chronograph. I don't use a stopwatch for anything. I've got my phone for that, right? And apart from the occasional parking meter, that's the only time I really use it. I don't fly planes and I don't race cars. But and it was a feature that I sort of thought, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to enjoy. And the problem with that is this, the red dial, the second marker that's on the Seagull, only activates when you trigger the stopwatch. So it's always stuck in the 12 o'clock position, and you don't see the red moving across the screen, which I thought was a bit of a waste, something that I would wanted to see, and I probably would have had it on stopwatch all the time, just so I can see it moving. And when I came across this particular watch, well, that was addressed because it is not a chronograph, and the red hand is actually the seconds marker, and you constantly see it ticking across with a nice sweep across the watch face. So enough chit chat. Let's get into the opening and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's have a look at this watch. Now, I've been a big fan of the Seagull 1963 watch. I don't own one, and this was, I guess, my first purchase into that watch. And although this is called the Seakoss, it does use a Seagull movement. So let's have a look at what it comes in. Similar to a lot of the other, I guess, other watches that come out of China, in this plastic hard case for a bit of protection, which has got a lot of padding. And when you open that up, it looks pretty watertight too. Whether it is or it's not, it's a different story. Well, actually it is. It's got the rubber gasket. You got the soft padding. Here's the Seakoss branded little handkerchief, an unstamped card with the international warranty, probably not, and the user manual. What does the user manual say? Okay, we'll look at this a bit later on. Now, the watch itself. Now, I have worn these for a few days already, just so I can test it, and just as well. So there's that little screen protector that came with it. It does come with a NATO watch band, as well as these brown leather, which I haven't tried it on yet, but not the greatest quality band at first instance. Did come in this plastic bubble wrap inside, which I took it out because it's quite boring. Now, the watch itself, to give you a bit of an idea, it is a 40mm watch face, which has the Seagull ST1654 movement, automatic movement. So it does have, let me just get this out of the way. I might just give it a clean with its little purposely included, oh hang on, there's a bit of a sticker at the back too. Let me take that out too. I didn't even notice that. I've been wearing all of that. What a goose. There's the automatic movement if you're interested. It does say 5 ATM, so 50 meter water resistant, 1963, automatic mechanical movement. You can see the rotor in there and the springs and so forth. So quite nice. I know some of the Seagull watches, they've got a lot more detail in the back and a lot more color on bits and pieces. This one doesn't, but again, this was a fraction of the cost too. So let me put the NATO strap back in. Now I can tell you now the NATO strap is not of good quality. I've only wore it a few times, and as you can see, the holes are stretching quite badly, but lucky for me, NATO straps are quite cheap, and I own a few. On the crown there, you can see it's with the star, which is similar to what's on the front. Now, before I take a closer look, let me say one thing. When I looked at the Seagull 1963, I was looking at a watch that I like the look of, but it is a chrono watch, which I'm not a big fan. I don't use the stopwatch often, and that meant that the seconds hand on the original watch actually only gets triggered when you start the stopwatch and it moves. Otherwise, it sits at the 12 o'clock position, and therefore you don't see a movement. Now, one thing I liked about this watch is that is the second measurement. All right, so the red, so you can see the marker there, that's actually the seconds. So this watch does not have a stopwatch, right? So if you've had a look online and there's any confusion, don't be fooled, there is no stopwatch on this watch whatsoever. What does it have? Well, actually what I prefer anyway. So, excuse the bad focus. You've got the red star there, and it says 21 Zuan. And then at the 9 o'clock mark, let's see if I can zoom in slightly. At the 9 o'clock, come on camera, work with me, not against me. Go through better. 9 o'clock, you have the days. At the 3 o'clock, you've got the months. So it goes from January, obviously, to December. And at the 6 o'clock, you've got the, oh, wow. Okay, let me just widen this shot a bit. At the 6 o'clock, you got the sun and the moon dial. So you know if it's AM or PM. And at about 4:30, you do have the date. So from that point of view, I mean, what more do you need in a watch? You've got the day, the date, the time, and also the month. All right. Now these buttons here, if you pull the crown out, obviously you can wind it. If you haven't pulled it out, nice and tight spring there. It's also the fact that it's automatic. You've got the rotor there that will also charge it from wearing. The top button adjusts, so if you pull it out twice, adjusts the date and the time. Top button adjusts the day. The bottom button adjusts the month. So these don't serve, there is no stopwatch, there's no chrono function, it's literally just that. Now, a few things. It is 12.5 millimeters thick. It is, I wouldn't say it's a thick watch, but it's not a slim watch, right? So it's not bad at all for me. I quite like that thickness. It does hold 35 to 38 hour energy in it. It does have a sapphire crystal. So here's a bit of a close-up shot there. As you can see, well, I think it's a very attractive watch. I think it looks really, really good. Very clean, very easy to read. You know, there's no loom at all, but that's okay. I still think the contrast is there, so it makes it easier to see the dials, the numbers, the markers and so forth. So yeah, very good looking watch if you ask me. But one thing I can tell you, that things have not been perfect. Right now, yes, the watch looks good, and you know the NATO green strap really sort of goes well with the face of the watch and so forth. But what had happened was probably about 20 hours into wearing the watch, there was a slight little incident with the watch itself. And what had happened was the day marker was at the bottom, pointing down to Wednesday. the hour marker, as it was going around, actually had gone under the day marker, right? So the hour marker got stuck under the day marker and you couldn't get progress past 9 o'clock. And so the watch stopped ticking basically. And what I had to do was turn the watch anti-clockwise to remove the hour marker, make it spin around, and then go around a few times in the anti-clockwise in order to squash the day marker down and press it down so it doesn't get stuck under it again. So since then it's been okay. Otherwise the next thing would be to take it to a watchmaker to go in and for them to actually press it and so forth. Now I reached out to the seller on AliExpress. They offered to pay for the repair work, but I had to go get a quote first and then send it to them to have a look. But yeah, so far so good. And to be honest, I didn't want to get rid of the watch because I really like it. And I'm actually, you know, normally I wear my my Apple Watch Ultra, but this has been quite enjoyable to use, and it's still reasonably low profile given the 12.5mm thickness. Okay, we'll move the NATO strap out and let's try the leather variety now. Like I said before, the leather band that's included in this is pretty thin, pretty average quality. But given that the watch itself only cost $130, I don't have much high expectations. But sorry, I just got distracted because it's the first time I've actually put this leather band on this watch, and I'm actually really liking it. I don't know if you can notice the color, but the fact that it's got that faint gold color with the gold hour markers, and then you got the brown leather band, it actually looks quite elegant. I mean, I can get away with wearing this at a formal event as well, and I think it'd be a good conversation starter because it looks very unusual and it's got a lot of info on the watch, as in, you know, being you've got the sun, the moon, the month, the date, the time, the day. Wow, not bad at all. Okay, so if you're wondering what the 21 Zuan refers to, that's actually Chinese for 21 jewels, right? And it's something that normally appears on the Seagull 1963 pilot chronograph. And it just means that, you know, the watch contains 21 jewels, which are either synthetic or natural rubies, ruby bearings, used to reduce the friction and wear of the critical points that are in the watch and the mechanical movements. But from a history point of view, the Seagull dive watches, or the Seagull watches themselves, are actually a reissued version of the first Chinese mechanical chronograph watch. So, you know, I've seen a lot of videos whether these are original, fakes, can you get fake seagulls or original seagulls? But you know what, if it's got a seagull movement and it looks the part, I like it, and I'm not really fussed whether, I mean, original what, it's not the original watch from back 1963, so curious to see what the movement is, if it's got any info inside. No, it doesn't. There's actually no writing in the movement to say that it is one brand or another. Once again, doesn't bother me. It's been very accurate. I haven't wore this watch for 2 days and it's still ticking away as it should and keeping time well. So I think it's a very good value for money. Well, that's another watch review for today. As always, I purchased these items myself, so I did purchase this off AliExpress. It was not a sponsored video, it wasn't sent to me free of charge, paid full price, whatever the price was, which was 130 Australian dollars. And I absolutely love it. I have no regrets of not getting the original one, or the one that, when I say original, the traditional one, which has got the chronograph function only. I actually do prefer this. It looks nice. I love the color combination. I love the fact that I can tell the day and the date. The month, not a big deal. I do like the sun and the moon at the bottom as well. So, you know what? For a very basic watch. I think it does a lot, and it provides a lot of information on the screen, and it's clean and clear to see. I love the sweeping seconds hand that goes around, and the fact that it's in red. I do love a watch with a red seconds hand. Beautiful timepiece, and here it is again. I can highly recommend it. Yes, I did have a hiccup with it, but the problem seems to have gone away. Perhaps because now I'm up on Sundays at 12 o'clock. Maybe when it goes back down to the bottom to the Wednesday, things get stuck again. But if it does, whatever, I'll fix it up. One thing that I did notice here is that it did say that at the end of the month you are going to have to progress the date yourself. It's not something that happens, but you know what? It is what it is. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer, the standard chronograph or this one here, or perhaps you've got another suggestion, because I know that Seagull do make a few different watches. And if there's anything else that you would like to see, do shout out. Like always, thank you for tuning in, and my name is Sash, and this is ST Reviews. Goodbye.